As summer turned to fall, our market has continued to shift more in favor of buyers. Traditionally, this time of year, we start seeing an uptick in activity both on the selling and buying side. However, this year has been a different story. We're seeing both buyers and sellers being slower to move in the market than we're typically used to seeing, and activity pacing well below historical averages. I'm Adina Dragasanu, OAKWYN Realty, here with your October 2022 market update. Let's start off looking at sales. The number of sales in September was down 10% relative to August, and it was down 46% relative to this time last year. If we compare it to the 10-year historical sales average, we see that this is down 36% relative to that average. And if you've been watching the news, this should come as no surprise. With interest rates on the rise, eroding affordability and consumer confidence, it's understandable that buyers are exercising more caution in the market right now. On the supply side, we see that sellers were a little bit more active than they were in the summer, with the pace of new inventory coming onto the market up 27% relative to August. However, if we compare it to this time last year, we see that the number of new listings coming onto the market was down 18%. With the pace of new listings coming onto the market increasing and the number of sales decreasing, we are starting to see inventory accumulating on the market. However, it's still pretty marginal. We see that the total supply of homes available for sale was up only about 3% relative to August, and it was up only about 8% relative to September of last year. So what type of market are we currently in? Are we in a buyer's or a seller's market? Well, the answer is that we're actually in a balanced market conditions. Our sales to active listings ratio is currently at 17%. If you recall, analysts say that we're typically in a buyer's market with prices decreasing when this ratio is below 12%, and we're in a seller's market when this ratio is above 20%. In between, we're in balanced market territory. But let's look at how this breaks down by property type. Looking at the breakdown by property type, we see that the detached market is currently at 12%, so in buyer's market territory, whereas townhomes are at 18%, right in that balanced market territory, and condo apartments are at 21% in seller's market territory. So let's take a look at how this is impacting prices. The HPI composite benchmark price for all property types is currently at $1,155,000. This is down about 2% relative to August, and it's down 8.5% from the peak 6 months ago. However, if we look at it relative to last year, we see that prices are still up about 4% relative to September of last year. Looking at the breakdown by property type, we see that in the detached market, prices declined about 2.4% relative to August, and they're still up about 3.8% relative to this time last year. For townhome properties, we see prices declined about 2% relative to August, and they're up about 9% relative to this time last year. And for condo apartments, we see that prices declined by about 1.5% relative to August, and they're still up about 6% relative to this time last year. So what does all of this mean for you? Well, if you're a buyer looking to make a move in this market, you finally have more selection of homes to choose from, you have a little bit more time on your side, less pressure, and in many cases you have more negotiating power on your side. If you're a seller looking to sell your home, it's still possible in this market. However, you need a different strategy than you would have had 6 months ago. You really need to put in that effort to make sure that your home stands out and that it's priced correctly. Unfortunately, you can't just take the price that your neighbor's home sold for 6 months ago and apply it to your home. It's a different market, and we're seeing different behavior from buyers and sellers. So you need to price it correctly and strategize for what's happening in the market right now. If you're thinking of making a move in this market, get in touch and we can walk you through exactly what's happening in your neighborhood and the best strategy to take advantage of it. In the meantime, be sure to stay informed with what's happening in the market. You can subscribe on YouTube, or you can follow me on Instagram at adina.yvr. That's it for now. Enjoy the rest of your October, and I can't wait to see you in November.